I'm Raymond Dale Bigelow. I was from near Mattawan, Michigan, near Kalamazoo, and I did 16 years on active duty. I went to Personnelman A School. That was in Meridian, Mississippi. I went first from boot camp to home for, I think we got like 7 or 10 days of leave, something like that. Then I went right down to Mississippi and did my school, and it was 8 weeks, but it was self-paced. And so if you were ahead of class, like if you wanted off on a Friday afternoon or something like that, you could. It actually wasn't, but I wasn't there really during the heat of Mississippi either. I probably was there from, I would say, April and May. So it seemed nice. I remember on weekends and stuff when I had off, I played golf down there, and we went to the beach down to Keesler, down near Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi. And the only thing that was a little strange was I was used to, the drinking age in Michigan was 18. Well, they had blue laws, or I think that's what they called them, or something. Anyway, you couldn't, in some counties in Mississippi, you couldn't buy a drop of alcohol, and so I thought that was interesting or new. I wasn't used to that, but you know, we all, when you're at the base, the base served alcohol at the club, so you know, you had to learn how to type. And you know, then they taught you the different forms of a military service record, what they're used for, and what kind of entries and stuff went on them. And yeah, I mean, it's when you, at least when I was in, when you left boot camp, you were still pretty green, but you had an indoctrination a little bit. So I mean, it didn't seem hard to me at all, and so I was, besides learning how to type, you know, so I had to learn how to do that, but otherwise it went pretty good for me. And then after boot camp, I was, my recruiters, I guess, asked for me to come home, so I went home for what they called 30 days of RAP duty, was recruiting assistant program. And I did that, and then after I left home, I shipped off to Norfolk. I drove my car down to Norfolk thinking I was going to get on the USS Nimitz, but I found out the Nimitz was deployed, and so they told me to take my car and put it into long-term parking, and I did that, and then they gave me a bus ticket to come up to Philadelphia here and catch a flight over the road to Spain, and that's where I was going to meet up with the ship. Well, it all worked out good as far as riding the bus up here, but as an E1, I wasn't a high priority to get on that plane, and I found out that I got bumped. And so then I was like, okay, now what do I do, folks? And they said, oh, well, we're going to take you over to the Philadelphia Navy shipyard. We have this inadequate barracks, they called it, and they put me up here. It was just happened to be I was in Philadelphia here during about 3 days, and they were right around the 4th of July. So it was a kind of, I never had ridden a subway before in my life, and I walked down Broad Street and jumped on the subway and took it into the old town and saw the Liberty Bell and Betsy Ross's house and stuff like that. So it was kind of a neat experience. And I didn't have to stand any duty because this barracks was considered inadequate housing. So